Need a water rescue. Will be north of the showboat. Will be a dock that has capsized.
A popular tourist experience turned deadly in Missouri tonight, the latest on the accident and recovery efforts there.
Plus, a Venice principal concerned with speeding drivers around the school, how he's now trying to make a change to keep students safe. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Adam Cellini. Thanks for being with us tonight. Scott Dennis has the night off. We start tonight with a Venice school trying to improve safety for students and parents by changing a speed limit.
The principal at Venice Christian School says several drivers speed past the campus. ABC 7's Jackie Kelly spoke with the principal today and joins us live to tell us more about faculty's concerns. Jackie?
Adam, Jacqueline, I'm here in front of Venice Christian School, and as you can see behind me, there's a speed limit sign that says 45 miles an hour. Now, the principal is concerned that there is a speed limit that high right in front of the school. The principal says that this community has seen growth, and with that growth, there is more traffic on this road. He says some students do bike or walk to school, and there's not even a crosswalk for them to cross safely. The principal says that the school is on the same road as other schools, and they have different safety measures.
We have bookends, public school bookends, and during their pickup and dismissal, their cars go 15 miles an hour. Our cars are going 45, 50, 55 miles an hour during those times.
Now, the principal says he has reached out to the sheriff and the county with his concerns, and nothing has been done yet to change the speed limit or put up signage. Reporting live in Venice, Jackie Kelly, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Jackie, thank you. In First Alert Traffic, we're learning more tonight about what led to a major delay for drivers this morning. Take a look at these new photos sent in by ABC 7 viewer Laura Simmons, who got even closer than our own cameras were able to. They show a semi-truck dangling off of the overpass near the US 301 exit in Ellington. The incident closed all northbound lanes for nearly 2 hours as rescue crews worked to bring the semi back onto the bridge. Troopers say the driver, Sarasota man Troy Betts, was traveling northbound in the center lane of the bridge. That's when a car changed lanes suddenly and Betts lost control trying to avoid a crash. Luckily, he was able to get out safely.
An Inglewood woman is facing animal cruelty charges after deputies say she beat her dog to death with a crowbar. Animal Control says back in January, Tammy Ewing tried to euthanize her own dog with an overdose. The reason? A torn ACL. Ewing told Animal Control she had the money to have that dog euthanized by a vet, but she was afraid it would be too traumatic. Ewing is now behind bars in Charlotte County. Her bail set at $7,000. And new details tonight in the death investigation of a Northport toddler. A DCF report says the parents of Ava Perry had fallen asleep when their daughter got outside and drowned in a canal. Blood tests also show both parents had marijuana in their systems, but investigators do not believe they were high at the time she drowned.
An update now on a boil water notice issued for Holmes Beach. That advisory has been lifted for those living on Flotilla Drive from 59th Street to West Bay Point and Moorings. Manatee County utilities say the water is not contaminated and is now safe to drink. Well, surf is up along area beaches, creating the potential for some rip currents right here on the Suncoast.
Let's get a check on our First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, I was out there. That's the video I shot of the red flag on the guard towers on Siesta Key, and a lot of people out today. You can see that. It looks like an actual in-season kind of beach day out there. The wind kept things a bit cooler, but those waves are up, and rip currents will be a potential problem over the weekend. Let's go to the maps and show you what's happening. Radar is very active to the north of us and now right over Manatee County. Some very heavy rain falling right now. As a result of this low pressure to the north, we have high pressure located down to the southwest of us again, and that high pressure and the fact that they're so close to one another creates a tight pressure gradient. That means that air has to feed into the low, and it's feeding in on a westerly current, and that is causing the surf to crash along the coastline and some of the area beaches, also bringing the humidity up as it has all week long, and that will continue over the weekend. So warm and muggy nights are expected for at least the foreseeable future. temperature into midweek next week. You can see that line of heavy showers now, but much more significant rain to the north. The rain is kind of falling heavy now near Longboat Key into Manatee County, near Bayshore Gardens, stretching off toward Oneko and even into Bradenton, getting some heavy rain. Now the south end and mid portion of Longboat Key getting some pretty heavy showers right now, and near Bayshore Gardens, stretching off, as I said, toward looks like Oneko, and then also I-75 and US 64 and State Road 70. That rain is causing some problems for drivers there as well. Not much going on from Siesta Key southward down into Venice and Inglewood, but this line is dropping to the south a little bit, so folks on Lido as well as the north end of Siesta Key could see some of this rainfall moving on in over the next hour or so. But for some timing there, you can see it's moving pretty quickly off to the northeast at around 15 to 20 miles an hour. We're in store for a fairly wet weekend. We'll have the details on that coming up in just a few short minutes. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Now to a tragic developing story out of Missouri. A duck boat full of tourists capsizing in rough waters. At least 17 people killed, 6 more still hospitalized. ABC's Emily Rao has the latest developments from Branson.
New video shows the frightening moments just before the boat capsized.
Need a water rescue. Will be north of the showboat. Will be a duck that has capsized.
Taken inside another duck boat out on the lake at the same time, the waves violently rocking the people inside, the wind whipping around at 60 miles an hour. That group made it back to shore, but the other duck boat capsized with 31 people on board, killing 17, including children. The captain made it out alive.
Myself and the First Lady, our thoughts and prayers right now are with these family members.
When the boat capsized, a thunderstorm warning was in effect, and witnesses say the severe weather was strong and swift.
Debris was flying everywhere and just the waves were really rough.
The company that owns the Duck Boat Ride, a popular tourist attraction that takes passengers on land and water, says it's had an impeccable safety record during its 47 years of operation. Telling ABC News, this incident has deeply affected all of us. We will continue to do all we can to assist the families who were involved and the authorities as they continue the search and rescue. The NTSB and Coast Guard are on the scene investigating.
We'll do everything within my powers to make sure that they all have the resources here they need to come to a conclusion on this incident.
The boat sank to the bottom of the lake after it capsized. Officials here tell me they plan to pull it out of the water on Monday. Emily Rao, ABC News, Branson, Missouri.
And for the latest developments on that accident, as well as breaking news across the country and here on the Suncoast, just download our app. You can find it in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. Now we go live to ABC7's Taylor Torregano in Sarasota, where a rundown cemetery has been restored. Taylor?
Good evening, Adam. This is a historic cemetery here in Sarasota that went without maintenance for decades. But now somebody stepped up. Hear who that is and why, coming up.
Thank you, Taylor. Also coming up, how certain video games may help kids with their weight.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast for the weekend ahead. Stay with us.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The first African-American cemetery on the Sun Coast had fallen on hard times. Headstones dating back to the 1800s lay damaged and under overgrown brush, and at one point it even became a tent city for homeless people. But today that cemetery has new life. ABC 7's Taylor Torregano is live at the Oakland's Woodlawn Cemetery. And Taylor, how does that cemetery look today?
Adam, it's hard to believe that's what this cemetery used to look like. Now these 1,400 grave sites are as well kept as the lawn and trees that surround them. Now I'm told it took a lot of money and manpower by the city and local contractors to get to this point. But for the families of those who lie at rest here, this restoration is invaluable.
I find the peace, the calm, the quietness of these most beautiful pastoral 5 acres and the story that they tell.
For City Commissioner Willie Shaw, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been.
This is my identity. This is who I am. I can go back and find a point of reckoning here that will drive me forward. I can go back and find their stories.
Stories that begin in 1910.
It starts here. My great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, my dad, my mother.
The legacy of 28 other family members too. But it's not just Shaw's identity that makes the Oakland's Woodlawn Cemetery so important.
The cemetery tells the story of the community.
In a time of segregation, this was the first and only cemetery where any African American could be buried in Sarasota County. Even the spelling mistakes on these early headstones help paint a picture, like born spelled with an A.
Yes, instead of born. Yes, yes. And that is so much a part of who we are.
Those born in slavery. Veterans, their stories never forgotten, but somewhere along the way, maintaining their resting place was.
It was really unkept. You couldn't even read any of the letters or names that were in the actual stones that were there.
Graves completely covered with black soil and plants, overgrown, dead, and declining trees. But after decades of ruin, the city stepped in, approving $425,000 to restore this sacred place.
Well, we removed invasive plant material. We did the site grading work here. We did the grading work for the pond. We did palm and tree cleanup work.
Much of the work was actually done by city staff to save money, but the hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours were well spent in an effort to preserve the home of Sarasota's pioneers.
Because if you don't know your story, you can't make his story.
Well, that was ABC 7's Taylor Torregano reporting, and we're getting reports that even Taylor is getting rained on out there because we've seen those storms that you're tracking.
Yeah, the big line of heavy showers moving through right now in parts of Manatee County, spreading down toward Lido now too. So folks out on Lido, get ready, and also Siesta Key could see some heavy rainfall too. You got a group in the town here called Lightning Mafia, and they're on the internet, obviously social media. We got Val Vasilescu, also we've got Damon Powers and Dylan John Wade Cox, and they all get lightning shots, and they're fascinating. They get spread all across the world for that matter. Absolutely. Well, they got a little scared last night, and they posted it. Take a look at this shot, how close it was to them. This is sent in, again, tagged me, and you can see they said that was just very close. They could hear the air singe, and they got shelter real quick there. Yeah, you always be in shelter when the storms are around. A little bit too close for comfort, but they'll still be out there, believe me. They're just a little bit more tentative, I think, this next time. The folks out at the beaches, a lot of them out there too. There's a big volleyball tournament going on right now. Rip currents are a big life-threatening thing here along the state of Florida. In fact, we lead the nation, unfortunately, in not lightning deaths, but lightning deaths as well, but also rip current deaths. And we're going to see that, I think, on some of the area beaches. The rain will be heavy at times, and we're seeing that right now with some of the weather moving through Longboat Key. And that's simply because the atmosphere is really juiced up right now. It's got moisture in all levels. There's no dry air around. And the storms, unfortunately, are going to stick around. It looks like we're going to be in this pattern where we'll see this onshore flow, which brings heavy rainfall at times. Not everyone is going to see the heavy rain, but we will see periods of showers and heavy rainfall and then relative calm. The winds will be strong, though, out of the west because of that low pressure developing to the north. There's a tight pressure gradient, meaning that the high pressure and low pressure are pretty close to one another, and that low is intensifying. So these are the winds that were occurring today. West winds out there around 15 knots for the most part. It's up to 20 miles an hour, but in the boating world, it's about 15 knots. And you can see the rain continues to line up here, much heavier to the north, and that's where they have flood advisories north of the Tampa Bay area. You can see more rain, again, heading towards Siesta Key. This is about, I would say, a half hour, maybe even less away, that particular cell. And they've been holding together fairly well, a little bit more so than the last couple of days. You can see that rain coming down now, fairly significant in Sarasota and downtown Sarasota, stretching up toward the airport. And then Bayshore Gardens had a brief period of heavy rain, a little bit more on the way here. And that's what we're in for over the weekend. On again and off again showers and even a few thunderstorms. And it looks like, we were talking and advertising Saturday would be the better of the 2 days. Well, and now it looks like both days are going to see a pretty good chance of some showers and thunderstorms at any time during the day. Just that one rain there in Longboat Key, 7/10 of an inch in just short in a half hour, less than a half hour. The dry air is bottled to the north of us and to the south of us. We're into all this moisture right now as this area of low pressure develops and scoots up the mid-Atlantic coast states. You can see that in the forecast track. There it goes. Heavy rain into the outer banks of North Carolina. And then another piece of energy, and this low pressure which brought all the tornadic activity to Iowa yesterday is going to slide southward, and we'll see a surface reflection eventually over the northern Gulf of Mexico, and little pieces of energy will spin around that, and we'll continue to see a pretty good chance of rain on Monday, Tuesday, and even into Wednesday of next week. Well, it's cooled down now since that storm has moved through the airport. We were at a heat index at 100 just a minute ago, and now with that rain, it's cooled down. Downtown Sarasota not getting the rain when we took this particular temperature, but it is cooling down now. 90 in Arcadia and 91 now in Sebring, so much hotter inland. Rip currents possible tomorrow. Scattered storms also a pretty good bet. Southwest winds at 15 knots, and seas will be running 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop. The extended forecast, rain chances staying high, again, all the way through the next 7 days for that matter. I think by Thursday and Friday we'll get back to more of those afternoon and evening typical summer-like storms we haven't seen this year. It's been a little bit atypical as a result of the westerly flow. Temperatures will be warming into the upper 80s. The overnight lows will be unseasonably warm, and it will stay muggy. Well, much more coming up a little bit later. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Now to First Alert traffic. Right now, an accident in the eastbound lanes of University Parkway at the I-75 interchange is causing some backups. You can see that the interstate is moving slowly between the University exit and the exit for Fruitville Road. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Adam. In health news tonight, a recall alert about a new nationwide salmonella outbreak that could be linked to raw turkey. The CDC says the outbreak has already made 90 people sick, 40 of those hospitalized. It's happened in 26 states, but experts still have not found a direct source. The meat was purchased from many different locations and in different forms, including ground turkey, turkey pieces, and whole turkeys. The CDC says samples of raw turkey products and live turkeys tested positive for salmonella. Another drug company is promising to cut prices on some medications. Merck says it will lower the price of Zepatier, a drug for hepatitis C, by 60%. It's also dropping the price of 6 other drugs, including Prinavil for high blood pressure and the antidepressant Remeron. The move comes after drug giants Novartis and Pfizer said they're limiting drug price increases in the U.S. Merck also says it will not raise the average price of the drugs beyond the annual rate of inflation in the U.S. Well, could playing video games help your child with their weight? A new study tested whether it could be true. Here's ABC's Kenneth Moten with the results.
Usually they're associated with sitting on the couch in front of a screen, but could one form of video games be a secret weapon against obesity in children? In a new study, researchers tracked the physical activity of a group of kids with obesity for 1 week. They then gave them gaming consoles with what are called exergames, games that involve movement to play. Half of the children were also assigned to a game squad, a virtual coach that checked in and encouraged the children to keep playing for at least 1 hour, 3 times per week. At the end of 6 months, the kids who had a game squad lost weight, lowered their blood pressure and their level of bad cholesterol. As many parents might have predicted, the children who weren't being encouraged lost interest after a few weeks, showing us kids need adults in their squad if they're ever going to keep up healthy habits, including exergaming. With this Medical Minute, I'm Kenneth Moten, ABC News.
Coming up, new video of the heroic rescue by Good Samaritans to save a bicyclist in Wisconsin, and dramatic images of 2 tornadoes all caught on camera in the same area. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, and you're struggling to pay your bills while your case is dragging on, that's where Oasis Financial comes in. Only Oasis has Oasis Express Cash that can get you from $500 to $25,000 in as little as 24 hours, faster than anyone else. There's no risk and no out-of-pocket cost.
It was so simple. I made one phone call. Oasis was able to give me the money within 24 hours.
To pay for my electric bill, my rent, and my groceries for my children.
And even if you end up losing your case, Oasis lets you keep the money, so there's absolutely no risk to you. You don't have to worry about repaying Oasis.
If I had lost my case, then I wouldn't be responsible for paying the money back. And that was a blessing.
Oasis, they killed it, man. They helped me out. They gave me my life back.
See how much money you can get before your case settles. Call Oasis Financial, because life moves faster than your case. 1-800-874-8185. 1-800-874-8185.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
My name's Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
From air to sea, a plane crash survivor has quite a story to tell. A Coast Guard crew airlifted a pilot off of the shore of Krillin Lake in Alaska on Wednesday. The 34-year-old pilot says his plane's engine failed, forcing him to land on that lake in Glacier Bay National Park. He then swam to shore where a helicopter had to pick him up. A salvage team will now work to remove his plane from that lake. A 4th of July celebration in Wisconsin ended in chaos when a woman on a bicycle fell into the seam of a bridge as it was going up. Now new video of the moment. Complete strangers rushed to her aid. Nick Riesdorf says he was a few cars away in traffic when he saw her hit the safety arms on the drawbridge, and then he didn't see anyone else jump in to help, so he figured he was the one who needed to jump in. He says it was only about a 3-foot drop. The woman was bloody after hitting her face, but he lifted her to safety and then her bike. Police say alcohol was likely a factor in the accident, but the investigation is ongoing. A man who is believed to have lived in isolation in Brazil's Amazon for over 20 years can be seen up close and clearly for the first time in a new video released by Brazil's National Indian Foundation. The foundation, which is responsible for protecting uncontacted indigenous tribes, has been tracking the man since 1996. They believe he is the last surviving member of his tribe after the remaining few perished in attacks by a year prior by encroaching farmers. Attempts to contact him stopped in 2005 when the agency realized it was not his desire. The only contact made now is through the occasional tools and seeds that members leave him in locations that he frequents.
Not one but two tornadoes in the sky just east of Des Moines, Iowa yesterday. Take a look at this video. There were several reports of tornadic activity and funnel clouds in the area. Several homes were damaged. Even the roof of one home torn off completely. Another home damaged after an RV flipped against it. The National Weather Service received 26 preliminary reports of tornadoes across Iowa on Thursday.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That's right. 49 years ago today, billions of people around the world gathered around their TV sets to watch as Apollo 11 astronauts took the first steps on the moon. Neil Armstrong would be the first of only 12 people in history to step foot on the moon. Some of the items that they used during the mission are actually still on display today at the Kennedy Space Center. 49 years.
Pretty amazing. Long
Pretty
time,
impressive.
almost 50.
Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, President Trump signs an executive order encouraging new job training programs across the country and how that will affect workers right here on the Suncoast.
An update on the downtown Venice beautification project, how construction will impact this weekend's Christmas in July event.
Temperatures are rising, and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years in a row. Get an all-new 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999, or save big and get up to $13,000 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Everybody can make something.
because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. We're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, Dad. We're getting so wet.